It's Easter Day, Sunday, and it's time to do a movie, show what we've got going on. So zone 1, we walk out the door, we've got a few herbs here. And this first pathway leads us all the way out to the road. This is the pathway that we use the most. Our backyard isn't fenced for deer yet. However, I've found a way to keep them at bay. Here's our kale patch. It's doing fairly well as the miner's lettuce. And I've been peeing around here. That seems to keep the deer away. The garlic has been heavily mulched and it's all coming up through the mulch. The plum has white flowers on it. And these purple flowering plums are all finished. We've got a big brush pile here. The idea is that it's stopping some of the sound from the highway. I've started triangulating and mapping out the yard, considering where we're going to be putting the fence. Decided to put a pathway through here, possibly ultimately through here. That phone pole right there marks the corner of the property. I've also put a spike in here. That's marking the corner of the easement, and a straight line goes into one of our poles for our deer fence. So here we've got a pole. I think we're going to end up putting the deer fence on contour in this rock wall, and then in a straight line with that, or we might have this section a little bit unavailable and have the fence come right up to the side of the tree. It's going to be a pathway here. And this plum with the pink flowers is still flowering. The top of it's dead. I've planted a thornless blackberry at the bottom so I can use the tree as a trellis. This plum isn't flowering yet, but it's coming out. The buds are looking all right. Parts of the top have been cut off because they were dead. However, most of it looks like it's alive. So we've got a lot of plums in this backyard. This is the soil station. Turning that thing is a lot of work, but it makes nice sifted soil. These are flowers, salsify. There's lots of them here. This is our wood storage and our composting toilet. Our bathtub with the fish in there. It's too dark for you to see them now. For now, this is the nursery. It is fenced from the deer. The idea is to move the nursery into the backyard eventually. This area may be used to house a trailer for some additional income. It was used for that before. That's why the hedge has actually died there. Here on the propagation benches, we've got some grapes that are coming. We've got some, I believe those are honeyberries, black currants, and kiwis. In the greenhouse, Tessa has started and has germinated arugula, miner's lettuce, mizuna, purple mallow, pak choi has come up, and more calendula. I've got some figs started. They're starting to bud out. On this side there's California poppies, bronze fennel, corn spinach, what's that say? Carver spinach, type of spinach. Purple sprouting broccoli, red Russian kale, perpetual spinach. Maximum temperatures in here have been up to 40, down as low as 5 recently. This is our fenced in area. We've got electric line on the bottom, that's to stop the deer. We've got this bird netting on top. The bird netting on top is to stop the deer from jumping over. The electric fence on the bottom is to stop the bears and the deer. So we've got lots of kale growing, some garlic that wasn't harvested, calendula. We've got some horseradish coming up here. Horseradish apparently stops the wireworms, so that's why I've got it next to the grass. We've been eating lots of parsley. There's some chard, arugula. Over here we have rhubarb, which is doing well. And if you can see, the kiwis are trellised on these poles, and they're starting to leaf out. So the idea is to have the kiwi trellis in the summertime shade us in the trailer so we're not so hot. Not a whole lot going on over here, except for this English laurel. It's now starting to come into flower. I got some blue orchard mason bees, and I was hoping that they would pollinate it. I put some tubes up in here. Hopefully they'll find it and move in. I don't know if you can tell, but in here, this laurel looks to have a darker leaf than this one. Let's go look at the blue orchard mason bees. This is the workshop. The blue orchard mason bees are here on the midden site. Their poles are there, and here they are in a glass jar. It's a warmer place here. It gets a little bit of shelter from the building. However, right now there are cool winds, hoping the mason bees are going to come out and start pollinating things. Here on the top of the midden there's an old stump. Oh, look at the snake. There he goes. This old stump has lots of huckleberries growing on it. Red flowering currants. Along the back side of the workshop, I've been harvesting parsley. That parsley there was harvested right down to the ground. This parsley here was harvested down to the ground about a week ago, and it's growing back. So yeah, we've been eating lots of parsley, and it tastes good. This is sort of the property line that I'm walking here. This is a sunny area where I've planted a Chilean or feijoa, pineapple guava. So that'll become a bigger tree. It needs another one with it in order to get the right pollination, but the fruits are really tasty. Tried some earlier when I was in Port Alberni. Here our evergreen hedge is doing well. This is Arbutus unido. The understory hasn't quite come in yet. It might take a while. However, the hedge is definitely providing privacy. So the understory coming in isn't so important. There's a bay laurel that's doing well. There was a bay laurel planted under there, and it died, so I think it didn't have enough sunlight, but the parsley seems to be fine there. The rest is planted with salal. Here's a lavender. This is Mahonia aquifolium. Oh, there's a bumblebee on it. So the mason bees haven't come out yet, but the bumblebees have. I also see a honeybee flying around these blueberries. So I'm hoping that the bumblebees and the honeybee will be able to pollinate those English laurel berries, because I want to have lots of berry fruit. Here, this is Mahonia ex media. It's a hybrid. You can see lots of berries on that one. And this one, aquifolium, lots of flowers. And here's our steep cliff bank. I did put one irrigation line here. There's down on the bottom, I planted a hazelnut and a couple berries. there's a lot of blackberries growing there. It's a tough place to cultivate, really. And unfortunately, it's all caving in. You can see there's a large separation here between the wall and the soil. This stuff is moving. I think these cedar trees used to provide a lot of structural stability, but because they were cut down, their roots are slowly rotting, and I wouldn't be surprised if this whole place collapses down to the ocean in not too long. You can see here where the porch beams are out on an angle because, of course, the cliff is failing. Here we've got some more red flowering currants. Over there there's a maple that's been cut a lot, and these are all English laurel as well. That's the tour. Thanks for watching. See you later.